leadership board presentations for our study session for today's date. What you have up there, as everybody getting seated, is our 2023-24 cohort, or our 24-25 TIA designees. We're real proud of celebrating them, and we look to be adding another, at this application time, on April 15th, we're going to apply for 100% of our teachers to be eligible to TIA. Okay, tonight, these are the outstanding colleagues that I'm presenting with, Dr. Basuka, Dr. Mackins, and Mr. McElwain. We already saw the early childhood camp performance. Edgewood does early childhood right, and has been doing it right for the last 20 years. I say 25, actually. So tonight's our Lone Star Governance, and as you know, this is part of the requirement for Lone Star Governance, and we are covering 3.1 Texas Success Initiative, but we're going to give you CCMR as a whole. Here are some terms. These terms are the common indicators that we normally report out to you. Texas Success Initiative Assessment, Advanced Placement, Dual Credit, Industry-Based Certifications. Under TSIA are the different areas below that. I'd like to invite Dr. Basuka to talk about these components.
Thank you, Mr. Chavez. So when you're looking at this information, we're looking at the CCMR piece. Know that we meet monthly with our principals, high school principals, to review data sets and relative to these indicators. One of the things that we just met, matter of fact, just 2 weeks ago, is we try to make predictions with the best information that we have. So some of these kids are still enrolled in some of these classes, are still taking certification tests. So we try to make a best guess estimate, but at the end of the day, the child still needs to complete the program for us to get the point. So one of the other things that we also want to point out is the changes. And as a reminder, we've presented in the past where CCMR has changed. Remember a couple years back, CCMR A standard was 60, now it's 85. That was one major change. Some other changes in the way in which kids now qualify. In particular, if we can go to the next slide, is this one. It is huge because in the past, if the child earned is what we call an IBC, which is the certification, they would get the point. If you notice, it is now becoming more rigorous. 2024 graduates had to have one course in that CTE pathway plus the cert. This year's graduates, 2025, are now have to be concentrators. That means that they have to get at least 2 or more courses in that program of study plus the certification. Next year, it will be even more rigorous because now they have to be completers. They have to complete the whole course sequence, all of them, and the certification. So keep those things in mind as you're looking at the certifications. It is becoming more rigorous every year. So keeping up those standards becomes just that much more difficult. The next one, please. Here, we've done a really, really good job as far as growing our indicators, and now we're maintaining. You notice in the class of 2023-24, ranging in the mid-90s. This year, we're projecting to be close to it. Again, those are not final numbers. Those are just best predictions based off of the meetings that we just had, assuming that every child completes their course, they're in the courses, they're in those certifications, and those are the numbers that we could be projecting to at the end of this year for that class. Nonetheless, those are A standard indicators.
This data, as we stated earlier, is based on 2 data sources on data suites and also our frontline ERP data system. And the data for these particular projections for 24-25 were taken on March 26th of this year. Our goal, as stated in the Lone Star Governance Goal number 3, is 85%. We've been passing that for the class of 22-23, class of 24, and now for the class of 25. Some reinforcement pieces continue an upward trajectory in this class. Our AP exams, we're still making sure that we administer those, which will be the first 2 weeks in May. We're still continuing to make sure that our students are TSI ready, especially for incoming 9th graders. We're offering a wide range of dual credit courses, as Dr. Hernandez said, with our early college, high school, our P-Tech on-ramps, and also our actual students who are not enrolled in those 2 programs can actually take dual credit also. So also CTE, we're doing a fine job in our industry-based certifications and our opportunities refinements. Coming up would be making sure that college prep courses are approved from a TEA list in 25-26. These past couple of years, it only had to be approved by a post-secondary institute, which was out in the colleges, and now we're gonna have to select from a list from TEA for next year. And CTE, again, Dr. Russell did a good job of explaining why we have to make sure that we keep a pulse on those students to each completer. The superintendent's problem for this is model as we're above the 85%. As we move on to work, the board quarterly tracker for quarter 33, we didn't have a change. The last change that we had was the month before, from 2 quarters ago to 1 quarter, and our current quarter remains the same. The areas highlighted in bold for vision goals 1, vision goals 2, 3, and 4 are all below the 100 percentile, and of course the other one is advocacy and engagement, vision 9. What you'll be having in your board update for this week is a list of all those areas highlighted where the areas of need are. As we move on, we are also looking at our second reading for policy update 124. This is going to be our second and final reading, and those are the particular local board policies, as the legal policies are not purview of board approval, but just the local policies. As we move on, Dr. Basuka will talk about some of the components coming up here for our instructional materials.
Thank you, Mr. Chavez. And just to continue on the instructional materials, we're going to present it in 2 portions. April board items, think of it in terms of the core, all tier 1 instructional core materials that we're bringing for your approval and consideration this month. Next month, we'll be asking for the supplemental instructional materials. So for the core instructional materials for your consideration and approval are STEM scopes, mathematics, middle school, and algebra 1. Blue Bonnet Learning Spanish materials, grades K through 5. As you'll recall, this is the item that pairs up with last month, which was English. This is the Spanish materials for Blue Bonnet's math. Springboard, Algebra 1 and Algebra 2 and Language Arts, middle school through high school. That's for our pre-AP courses. ISD, this is new. This is new. All our CT materials are being turned over, and these are brand new. And ISIB offers over 36 courses of online courses, so that means our teachers, we have over 25 teachers who now have access to over 36 CTE courses. That includes also professional development. And of course, we got Ramsey Education for personal finance. That's the personal finance course that we introduced last year that we will continue to use. That's the curriculum for that one. My Perspective, which is a Savage, which is our high school language arts instructional materials. And down in 5I is Texas Studies, which is our K-5 social studies curriculum. Those are all our tier 1 materials. Now we're excited because, as you know, we are implementing Blue Bonnet English and Spanish K-5 mathematics. We applied for a grant, which is the Learning Acceleration Support Opportunities Cycle 3 grants. And we're proud to say that we're one of the few districts across the state, there was a lot of interest, who received these opportunities. With that comes 2 things. We are having now to secure, per grant stipulation, a technical assistance provider for each of those grants. And so we're going to secure Great Minds, who happens to be the actual co-founders of Blue Bonnet Learning, under former Eureka. We're going to pair up with them to help us improve our implementation of professional learning community supports, and also the implementation of our K-5 instructional math materials. So that is for your consideration and approval. Mr. McElvey.
Thank you, Dr. Sito. I'm going to come get that clicker from you. Board, we are bringing you 2 items that require approval. First is our out-of-state trip for our Las Palmas DI team. Dr. Hernandez mentioned this in his opening frame, that we are excited that we have a team from Las Palmas that's qualified for global competition in Kansas City. And so we're going to bring this to you at the regular board meeting to ask your approval to approve the out-of-state trip in accordance with FMG local. The second item that we're bringing to you is for our Fine Arts Academy, our International Thespian Festival competition that will take place in Bloomington, Indiana. This is somewhat of a recurring item over the last few years. We've had a group of theater students from the Fine Arts who take this summer competition. They go through a qualifying round here in the state of Texas, and then the Nationals is in Indiana. And so we have 6 individual students, along with 2 chaperones who were asking your approval to take to Indiana in June. Ms. Chavez?
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the leadership presentation for tonight's board workshop. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Are there any questions from the board? Okay, Mr. Lopez. Can you use the mic?
Question around the ISD turnkey. And so what it is under Proclamation 2017, which were the old CTE instruction materials, those are all our CTE courses, they've now sunsetted, and so we have to get new instructional materials for CTE. So what this does, this company is able to give all our teachers access to over 36 courses to be able to offer for kids. It's instructional materials. I'll give you some examples. Business law, business management, culinary arts, all those courses are part of that. This is just new instructional materials for CT.
And also we use ISD for pre and post test.
So I know we're approving the Spanish version for that one, but the other stuff we're approving, everything is available in English and Spanish?
Mr. Valdez, if you can clarify, are we talking about the mathematics or?
Just everything, like everything else, like the language is available in both languages, because I know this month we're approving one that is in Spanish.
The answer for technical reasons is English. All the materials are in English. All the ISIV is English, Springboard is English, because we don't offer Spanish materials in middle school. The Spanish one is the K-5 math. Remember last month we came and graciously you all approved our K-5 English. This is the partner for our bilingual classes in Spanish, K-5. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Just waiting for the presentation to come up. Hey, as usual, I'm standing between everyone and the door. All right, folks. Everything that we have this evening are recurring items. So I'm going to go a little bit quick. These were all in the board updates, but I do want to have the opportunity to talk about 2. The bank depository contract does not come very frequently, and I want to highlight some of the donations with the work that the foundation did this year. So agenda item 5N, we have a general operating fund balance change. So what we're doing is moving the monies between functions to end the year. This is a fairly recurring item. Item 5O, we have put out an RFP for general supplies, maintenance, and repairs. This has started to be the cadence for the district so that we have depth in the vendors that we use. These vendors are 9, and they are only called as needed to either install, repair, or purchase supplies. Agenda item 5S is the depository contract for the bank. So we have the option of renewing every other year with our current bank, and it happens to be Wells Fargo. Under the District of Innovation, we are allowed to renew without having to go out for RFP. That allows us to not have to change check stock, to not have to make a lot of changes. So it really has been able to save us money as long as the bids and quotes that we get from the bank every other year remain competitive. We also have extensions for lawn maintenance and painting services. Again, these are services that we have as needed. I'll remind the board that we continue to have vacancies by design. We continue to have vacancies for the lawn maintenance staff and painters. We're down to 1, Mr. Williams? 2?
How many FTEs? We have 2 FTEs and 1.
We have only 1 staff, so these continue to stay on our books. We're going to extend the services so that we can call as needed. The donations, the Education Foundation awarded the district $13,500 for small grants. I'm not gonna read them to you, but they made a lot of people really happy. They awarded all of these programs for projects that are gonna be initiated at the different campuses that you see them. I'm gonna give you guys a couple of seconds, I know there's a lot in there. But they will be in your board update this Friday as well. Okay, we have the informational items, the tax collection reports and financial statements. The only thing I'll say here is that our tax collections continue to lag just slightly, but this is kind of par for the course right now with the way the economy is. It's varying by a little bit less than a 1% change from a prior year. We also have the recurrent items from human resources. These are all the reports that come in for closed session on a monthly basis. And those are all the items that will come from business operations this month. Are there any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Those are all our reports.
Yes.
Is that it? That's everything? Wow. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. No questions then from the board? Anything before we go?
Actually, I have a.
I knew it.
Over here.
Go for it. Go, sir. Frank.
So, our presentations have really gotten really good. When we first presented about 9 years ago, we could tell we needed a little bit of work. And then Dr. Hernandez came in and the rest of the team, they really did a good job and they continue to do a great job. I really like the slide with our kids at, I forgot which school, but it was a nice, on the track, it was a nice picture of our kids. That's what I like to know. So, anyway, thank you guys. That was it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, I just have one question. Did we talk about exactly what the budget amendment was gonna be for?
No, sir, we didn't. So if you, all right, take it down. The budget amendment is simply to cover anticipated deficits that we might have through the end of the year. Right around this point in time, we're starting to cover. You'll notice that we're moving from function 11, which is our, the majority of the money, where we have budgeted for teachers. We're moving $145,000 to cover things that we might need for the library. That's function 12. For professional development in function 13. For after school and open gym activities that we'll have over the summer. So some of those things, we're moving money out of function 51. That's normally our general maintenance. And we're moving some money into some of the events that we're function 61, which is for the Platicas and community engagement. And we're moving some monies for the, not the DAP, but the off-campus JJAP, thank you, yes. So that's the general buckets that we're moving out of and into for the end of the year,
Thank you.
of course.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay. The time is now 6:12 p.m. Do we have a motion to adjourn? Okay, Mr. Valdez moves, makes a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
I second that.
Okay, Mr. Lopez seconds. Is there any discussion? Okay, if we have no discussion, all those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, say nay, raise your hand. Okay, motion passes. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.